do it.
Woo! Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's after 12 o'clock and we're hot here in Military Park, just having a great old time. I'm with my man Dan Shiver, Soulful House Nation, the voice of house music. How are you today, Dan?
I'm doing well.
Okay,
doing
but before we begin, I want to give a shout out to Tawanda Smith Gray and Tony Gray of House Therapy Sessions, who my prayers are with him. He's a good brother of mine. Tawanda and their family, they've been through a lot over the last couple of weeks. I'm not going to tell their story for them, but I want them to know that my prayers are there for them, and we're just happy that he's out of the hospital and everything is okay. But right now, man, let's turn to the man of the hour.
Well,
what is so exciting about Dan Shiver is that he's interviewed just about everybody in the house community, and he is the voice of house. He's the one who brings you everybody and the news. He's the one who just does it all, man. He's at every event. He's calculative in what he does. And first of all, I want to thank you for being on the show. What I like about the season premiere, my first guest, woo! Okay. It's just exciting about it, man. I'm just so excited about it. Dan, first of all, how are you today?
I'm doing well.
Yeah?
I'm doing well. Thank goodness I'm doing well.
Yeah, traffic was okay coming here?
Traffic wasn't bad at all. I think the whole thing was just finding parking. And of course somebody hit called my phone.
Oh, it happens, man. Yeah. Of course, when you're live, people are just going to go crazy. They want to know you, They want to say, hey, Dan, what are you doing? But you know what? First of all, Dan, you've got two great shows. You've got the Shazam, there's a Shazam hour, and then you have your regular show.
Right.
How is it juggling two shows at once?
Well, to do it, first of all, let me just tell you how this happened. The reason it's in two parts, originally it was all together, and then what I did is I broke it apart because, Facebook has this nasty little habit of shutting me down. So I said, well, you know what? And then what would happen in the beginning is because the show part and the music part were connected, what they did, I would lose the whole show. Wow. So what I said, well, wait a minute, hold it. So I'll separate the two, and then worst came to worst, they would shut down the music part, but I would keep the interview and with the individual going. So that was the first step. Then second thing that happened, said, wait a minute, hold it. Just out here one day, just trying to figure out what the song was, and of course, you go on the Shazam.
Of course.
And I said, wait a minute, hold it. I'm going to create a Shazam free zone where people don't have to.
Yeah, I love it. I personally chime in on it. Yeah. I love what you're doing with it. Where do you get your collection of records from? I mean, do you just go surf the internet? I mean, how do you? I mean, you find some really good stuff.
Well, thank you.
You find some really good stuff.
Okay, so it's a combination of things. I have people sending me music.
Wow.
Okay, I have every day I'm on the line looking. I'm listening to every DJ I could possibly listen to. Then sometimes I stumble across things because, for example, if you go on to YouTube, Spotify, whatever, if you play this song, it'll give you the next song. So it's a lot of that going on also. So it's a combination. It's not just one thing. It's a combination. And then what I do is I try to, if I'm driving, I'll write it down. If I'm not driving, then I'll save it in like Shazam. And then when I stop, then I'll go and I'll buy it, download it. That's what happens.
Are you selective about the music you play, about the music that you listen to?
Okay, so here's what I would say. The way I make a decision about it is, do I think that my audience needs to hear it? I mostly like everything that I play. Mm-hmm. I can't think of anything I don't like that I play.
But, neither can I, man. You play some really good stuff, man. Well, I dance in my living room when you play. I'm like, wait, babe, you gotta walk out the room, dance playing. Turn off the view or whatever you're watching.
Well, the thing too is that, but my final judgment on it is not whether or not I like it. My final judgment on it is whether I believe that the Soulful House community should hear it. And if the answer to that question is yes, how I feel about it is immaterial, because my background, I should say that, no. Originally I started playing in clubs and stuff like that. I did, but I did only, I did like mostly private mobile stuff. So I learned doing the mobile stuff, it wasn't about me, it was about the guests. So, for example, I just did a wedding, and the people were like in their 30s, but they went to big band music. Now, you wouldn't really go in my car and hear big band music.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's not that I don't like it, it's just that, you know, that's not what you would hear. But they were into that, so that's what I played. You know, I played and stuff like I got shoes, you got shoesies. Now, you wouldn't find, or either a night in Pulaski, or God Must Have Been in New York. I mean, I played, stuff like that. That's what they were into. Glenn Miller and things like that.
Glenn Miller Band. Yeah,
sure,
I remember
sure.
that. Yeah.
Right. So I wouldn't necessarily have gone home and played it, but again, that's what I believed, and that's what the audience was into, and then that's the long way of getting to how I picked the tracks.
Really? Wow, that's a good way to pick up tracks.
Right.
Now, have you ever heard a record you said, "Let me play it," and then the audience didn't take to it?
Oh, of course.
Well, how do you feel about that?
Okay,
when you think your record is hot, and you're like,
Okay.
"Wow, man, my audience didn't dig that."
Okay, so it's two scenarios. Let's say if I'm at a live event, a mobile event, and even though I think it's hot and I think it goes there, or even if I requested by the audience or by the bride and groom or whoever, and I put it on, and the audience clears the floor, I go, that didn't work.
Oh my God.
Okay. Now with the Shazam Free Zone, it's a little bit different.
Okay.
In the sense that people don't really tell you they don't like it in general.
Okay.
But you will see, if they're really feeling it, you'll see the hearts and you'll see the likes and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Now, but to your point, I had one track I remember, I played it, and one guy said to me, "Oh, Dan, that track was terrible. How could you play that?" And then, not even a few days later, I went out and I saw another DJ who said, "Dan, man, I love that track. I put it in my uploads, and I play it." So now, who's right?
Yeah, you got a point there.
So,
Now, when you're thinking about some of the music that you're playing as a DJ, you're out, people come and command you to play at their event.
That's my mindset.
What type of music are you looking to play? Are you trying to play the party stuff? Are you trying to play the soulful house, which is your thing, or are you just trying to please the masses? Okay,
so it depends on the party. So a lot of parties, I don't get a directive. They just say show up, and I do parties. I don't know, anywhere 40, 50 parties a year, give or take, in that range. And what happens is I know certain things. So for example, like I just finished graduation season.
Wow.
So I did about 14 parties, about 14 events. So I was doing mostly kids. So I was playing a lot of hip hop, R&B, some dance music, but then too, with other audience where I had the Latin kids, I was playing reggaeton, I played bachata, and merengue, not too much salsa, except for the teachers. So, but there was a mix. So I'm pretty much an open set DJ, but I don't claim to play everything. I'll tell you what I can do. If I don't know the music, and as long as you got a beat, you let me know what to play, I can mix it in.
Oh, so you're open to requests and things like that?
Oh yeah, I take requests.
Wow, that's very rare in a DJ, because a lot of DJs, they like to do their own thing. They don't like to be told what to play. And here is Dan Shiver, the voice of house, ready to play what you like, and that's very uncommon in a DJ. You know what I'm saying?
But now again, it depends on the format. If I'm doing somebody's event, then in my mind I got to be flexible and open to what they want to do. Now, if I'm like in a booth in the back in the dark, like for example, I used to do nightclubs, nobody could get to me. So it really wasn't that interchange, other than unless if I came out of the booth and then somebody would say, "Oh, you have this, and then what I got in the habit of doing is writing it down. And if I hear it multiple times, I know, hey, wait a minute, that's something I need to definitely put in the mix. So
Talking to people all over the house community, I mean, when you're setting up your show to do an interview, what goes through your mind when you get that guest and they're sitting in that chair? Do you already know what to ask? Do you know what this person? Because I watched the video with you and Coffee Page, and the Floetress.
Okay.
And I was scared. It was like watching a horror flick, man. Dan, why'd you ask that? Don't do that. And all you did was ask her name. Hi, how are you? Just say your name. Why'd you do that? Do you ever
Okay.
get intimidated by some of your guests?
Well, okay, so, all right, so let me explain it like this, all right? Sometimes I have anticipation. Okay. But it's kind of like, in my mind, like a boxer, once they take the first punch, they go, okay, I see what you got.
Okay.
All right. Now, the other thing, too, my style is I like to have fun.
Okay.
So
Yes, you
by
do.
the time we get to the interview, we're already laughing and giggling. So,
Okay.
and you know, what I try to do too is I try to like give people like some sample questions and stuff, and they're not questions that they wouldn't ordinarily answer. And then on top of that, like in the flow of conversation, if I see we're going in a direction, I follow that path also. So I mean, I have a general idea, but it's not scripted.
Okay.
And again, I've done this so many times that
I know.
after a while, you kind of get the flow of it. And then I have some people who say they don't want to know anything. They want to, like I'm doing the interview tonight with the Black Knight. He says, Dan, I don't want to know anything. You want to come here, just flow. And that's what we'll do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here's a tough question.
Okay.
And you don't have to give me any names.
Okay,
Did you
now
ever
this
do an
is-
interview that you regretted doing?
No, I can't think of one.
No?
I can't think of one.
Someone you're like, wow, why did I have this person on?
No, not really, because again, by the time I meet with them, I've had conversations with them. We're all warmed up. We kind of know direction. And then, but let me share something with you.
Okay.
Okay. I used to do another show before this called Follow My Beat. That was regarding current events and that kind of thing. But the decision I made up front, getting into these things, is that this was not going to be like a show where I'm trying to jam people up. And I'm not trying to ask people questions that put them, embarrass them, or whatever.
Okay.
So I made a decision right up front. Because from my point of view, I got somebody in front of me that's got a ton of experience, a ton of this, ton of that, and they're a tremendous resource, not only to me, but to the audience. And they have so much knowledge. And I'm like, well, why would I sit there and try to jam the person up? And then on top of that, I'm going to see the person at some other point.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Why'd you do
Yeah,
that there? Meanwhile, there are three guys standing behind you. Yeah. Why'd you do that, Dan? Why'd you do that?
yeah, come on, have a counter. Well, yeah. But like I said, from my perspective, and I like to bring up some of the people, like for example, some of the DJs I've interviewed, people been in the game for 40 years, and it's like, why would I ask that person information and try to get knowledge from that gentleman or that lady who's been in the game so long? And it's anyway. Go ahead.
No. I'm sorry. Because I have so many questions to ask you. I'm so excited about it. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we got Dan Shiver, the voice of House, live on What I Like About with Jay Perez. Just thinking about some of the interviews that you've done, Lady Alma, Coffee Page, just to name some of these.
Right.
How hard is it to get an interview?
Okay.
Because I remember you were telling me the Lady Alma, man, you had to row a boat to an island to get to another, then took a train from there to Istanbul, and So like, how hard? No, really, how hard is it?
Well, I'll tell you what. Okay, the biggest thing is getting past what you were taught when you were a little kid.
Which is?
Don't talk to strangers.
Ooh.
Don't talk to strangers. And also too, so getting past that and being able to approach. So I've learned to really get good at the cold approach, because I don't know most of the people that I approach.
Okay.
So I've hit them up on Facebook and Messenger. I've approached them at events, and I gotta tell you, and here's another thing that happens, and I just analyzed it for the first time. So I talked to an artist that said, well, I don't want to talk on a mic because I'm shy. And I said to myself,
Yeah.
now this person is an animal on the stage, but when it comes down to a one-on-one, this is what I figured out. It's not that they're shy, it's that they're nervous about it. And they're afraid that they'll mumble their words. So I've been able to have great conversations with artists and DJs, because again, when I approach them, after doing it so many times, I've been gifted to be able to, they don't feel like I'm threatening them or trying to put them on the spot. Now what happens a little bit is that more people have heard about what we're doing, so sometimes people already know who I am when I get there. And
if people, if you don't know who Dan Shiver is, I mean, you really should do a lot of soul searching, a lot of internet searching, a lot of all of that, because Dan's been the voice of house forever, and I'm just happy that he gave me the opportunity. He inspired me to do what I do, and thank you for that, Dan. I mean, when people go to, when you go to events, I mean, even my wife is like, "That's Mr. Get Ready, Get Ready, Get Ready." How did you come up with that catchphrase?
Okay, all right. So here's how that happened. All right, this is the thing that I want to explain to you. That for the most part, it wasn't ever that I sat down and came up with something clever.
What?
It was an evolution, and/or somebody pointed out something to me. So, as a matter of course, get ready, get ready, get ready was just something that I just said.
Mm-hmm.
But Ricky Clark said, "Yo, man, you need to use that as your thing." So that never occurred to me. I didn't even realize I was systematically doing it. He pointed it out to me, and that's when I went with it.
You know, the funny thing is, when I interviewed Ricky Clark, who's just one hell of a guy, a really good DJ, you chimed in on the show, and we spoke, and we were like, "Oh, get ready, get ready." And it's almost simultaneously we did it, like, "You owe me a Coke now." You know, that type of thing. Mr. Get Ready, Get Ready, Get Ready. I mean, how that name, that term is so synonymous with you. I mean, do you ever feel like you're stereotyped or anything because of that term?
You know what? I don't. You know, it's all in fun. And then, like I say, after I realized, and Ricky pointed out to me that, hey, wait a minute, you got something there. Then I just went with it, and you know, so that's why when I set up, for the most part, I'll do get ready, get ready, get ready. You know, when I start up, or I'll do get ready, get ready, get ready. I'll do a post, you know, like from an event or something like that. But you know, again, for many of the things that I do, for example, the Shazam Free Zone, it was never that I sat down and said, now what could I do to come up with a great opener? What could I do? No, it was just evolutionary, blessed. People pointed stuff out to me. That's how that happened.
Ladies and gentlemen, we were distracted a little bit by Wally Young, the House of Knowledge, the director at the store that sells house music, and the one that gives you knowledge. I want to thank Wally Young, my brother, somebody who's dear to me, for coming out here and just sharing our video and supporting Dan Shiver. Wally, thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love when people come out and support Dan. I mean, I tell people all the time, man, if I'm and you walk up to me and you say hello, you see Dan, you walk up to him, he's not going to bite your head off. He's going to say, "Hey, hi, how are you?" He's going to say, "Hey," you know, all of that good stuff. And when Wally is here, I like to give people their love. Wally, come say hello. Just come by the. Let people know that we're not.
How you doing?
Yeah, man, we love that. We love that.
Guys.
You know, I asked people to come down, and Wally was the first one. And I want to thank you, Wally, for coming down, support. We're going to be doing an interview soon with Wally, and getting all that. Back to Dan. Dan, man, you're just a superstar in anywhere you go.
I don't know about that,
I mean, especially when it comes to house music.
I don't know about that, but
Who do you look to interview? What are you looking in a prospect when you interview? Like, what are you searching for? Do they have to be hot? Do they have to be a certain person when you're looking to interview a person?
no, I don't really go that way. I mean, certainly. I mean, if I can get like a big name, that's always a plus. But you know what? There's a lot of people that make this thing go. So it doesn't have to be a big name, or it doesn't have to be a big name that maybe local people will recognize. So, for example, I just had Leonard Roy on, who's a great interview.
Yeah.
Leonard Roy was back in Chicago right when the whole Soulful House thing started. He wrote a book called From the Root to the Fruit. Now, many people don't know him because he's not Frankie Knuckles, he's not Wayne Williams, Terry Hunter, those guys. But it doesn't mean that whatever he contributed, even though it didn't happen in the light like that, doesn't mean that it wasn't valuable. So I don't really go by that. And but I'm always happy to get like the Lady Alma. I'm very happy to
Yeah, absolutely. You're blessed to get somebody like that.
But let me just share something with you, and then the next question. So when I first did the first show, again, you're a little apprehensive because I'm approaching strangers, and I approached Eddie Nicholas. Eddie Nicholas was the first one to say yes.
I like Eddie. I like him.
Eddie,
So
yes. He said yes, and I never forget that. Now here's something else that a lot of people don't know, and I want to share this. Soulful House Nation, the fan page and group. The first person that ever posted it was Butch Buchanan. So I said,
no way.
I said, ladies and gentlemen, between Eddie Nicholas and Butch Buchanan, I'm on my way.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
So I always, every time I just always, just say, I always want to acknowledge that because somebody has to say yes to you. And if that doesn't happen, you're going nowhere with it.
When you're interviewing other musicians, do you feel a certain way? Like, wow, like I'm a musician too. There's nothing that this musician can tell me.
No, not really, because again,
you
like liver and I like fish.
Okay.
You like liver, or you like liver and I like shrimp. So in other words, we all have different experiences that we're bringing to the table. So listen, just imagine there's a castle here, all right? There's the north, south, east, and west. Now, no matter how good I am on the north, I can't see what's happening on the south, the east, or the west. So I need that person who's on the south or the east or the west to say, yo, Dan, this is what's up. You got to prepare for this, whatever. So I listen to multiple DJs.
Okay.
And every time I learn something, even down to the shows. Like, for example, what Momo is doing is fantastic.
Oh, yeah, isn't it?
What she's doing is unbelievable. It's fantastic.
Yes.
And she's playing, from stuff from, I heard her play stuff from DJ Dell and I think Bruce Dex, I think it is, and others. And she's riding. So she puts me onto that. So now I'm listening to what they're doing.
Yeah.
So,
she's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, she is. Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
So again, nobody has a lockdown all the knowledge. So when I sit and I talk with this person or that person, I go, oh, okay, all right. Anyway, that's what
The balance between female and male singers. Do you like what's going on? First of all, let me explain that because you got Dawn Williams. I'm sorry. You've got Anaya Weathers out there. You got Aaron K. Gray. You got Eddie Nicholas. You got Schumacher Schubens. Do you think the balance is coming now where men are equally getting the because for a while it was dominated by women.
Okay.
As I felt that women were just dominating as far as vocal music went. Now I hear Aaron K. Gray out there, and I just danced to his song, and it got forth. I mean, all over the world. And this man is just, I mean, something fresh that you didn't hear the man explosion. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I think it's good. I don't know where the balance is at this point, but I tell you, one of the things that I would like to see, I'd like to see more female DJs. Okay, so
that's a big thing nowadays. A big topic. Yes.
And you know what? So again, I would have to sit and think that through, because when I listen to a lot of tracks all the time, and I never really cataloged it in my head, so to speak, whether it was more male or more female.
Okay.
But I can tell you, we definitely need a lot more ladies in the game, and there are a lot of ladies that can play these festivals that will rock hard, and I applaud what Tim Wise is doing.
Yes, Tim Wise.
He's having an all-ladies day on Saturday.
Oh, so
and
exciting.
I applaud what Ricky Clark is doing with the ladies there. Then you have Sultan, who's doing stuff, and he's bringing up a lot of DJs that you might not ever hear because they don't necessarily make the big festival lineup, but at the same time, they're very talented. And also, too, he's bringing females in there. So I got to think about the male to female ratio, but I definitely know that I would like to see more ladies.
Okay. Absolutely.
Right.
You're with more ladies. I'm with the more men. You know why? Because these artists have been dominating for so long. You know, the female artist has dominated so long. So when you heard Shoebaz and Crybaby, and when you heard Aaron K. and I'd Like to Win, and you heard Eddie Nicholas and his beautiful stuff that he does, I mean, you're like, I'm just happy about that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But you got guys out there. Don't forget though, you have guys out there like Roland Clark.
Okay.
You have let's see,
Josh
Roland
Milan.
Clark, Josh Milan. Yeah, who's like crazy. Then you've got Raheem Devon, which Kenny Dope did stuff with him. By the way, Kenny Dope and Louis Vega, you're on my hit list.
Yeah,
Just
man.
kidding. Just kidding. Don't mean hit list. I mean,
yeah, he's not coming out there. You know what I'm saying? He's not doing anything like that. We're not doing anything like that.
Well, just real quick. On the world famous DJs, okay. DJ Spen, who I just recently got.
Yeah.
He and Louis Vega go 1 and 2. So here they are. I'm putting it out in the atmosphere. I'm talking on the world famous level. Okay, so DJ Spen, who I'm hoping to do a full-blown interview, which he said we could.
Oh, man. I'd like
Louis
to be a fly on
Vega,
that
Kenny Dope, Timmy Regisford, Tony Humphries, who I'm hoping I get to at some point this weekend. I know he's going to be around. Manu out of France, and on our more local level, like our kings of house in this area. Certainly Jihad Muhammad, beloved.
Yes.
Which I do have an interview with him.
Really?
And
Nice.
Naeem, I have something. And we're gonna release that. And I had a major issue with that, but that's beside the point.
Okay.
But then you got guys coming up, like in the next class.
Who are you looking at? Who do you see? Who do you
Well,
see?
listen. Here, I'm just going to name 3 names that pop into my head. But you can start with A. You can
Just
you can
walking
start
by
with
and
A.
saying hello, man. They just
Say
run
hello.
right
My family, my 2 best house heads.
Okay.
Go ahead and do
But
y'all.
We love it. This is what we wanted, man. This is what we wanted. We wanted a little surprise. We got
Okay.
kids in the neighborhood, people just watching us. We love that, man. Again, Dan Shiver's in the house. People are just going to show up. And if you didn't show up, shame on you. Tell me a little bit about.
Yeah, and
What do
also
we-
Mark Francis. Okay, so Mark Francis go now. People who are really like starting to come up, and that's not to take anything from anyone, but I'm saying the people are starting to show up more on the bill, at least locally. Wakil Ali, okay, Rock Anthony, showing up more and more. Soulful Messiah. I mean, these guys are showing up more and more and more. Now, that doesn't take away anything from the guys who are not showing up in these festivals as much. And I know I'm leaving names out, and I apologize up front for that. I'm just telling you the ones, but you can start with A. So let's say A, Wakil Ali, DJ Algebra. I mean, I could go on and on and on. DJ George Aiken. I can go on and on. B, Badala. Beloved. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could go, these guys they're like talented beyond talented.
Wow.
And you want to go with C, you can go to C. So, anyway, you can go any other letter alphabet, and you got 5 guys who are like killing it. Not to mention, you got Shonda Trent, who's coming up big.
Yes,
now, all
Shonda
right?
Trent.
And
Oh,
then
my gosh.
too,
Yeah,
you got,
Shonda.
and then let's say, if you want also on the A front, you got Amir. You see DJ Amir, who was, and then also on the M, you got DJ Mixmash. Then you got in Baltimore area DJ Pope. That's his. So, and then there's a DJ D Boyd, who's a younger guy.
I like the
So I'm
Youngest in
saying,
Charge,
Youngest in Charge.
yeah.
Youngest in Charge, yeah.
So I'm just saying, you pick any letter in the alphabet, and you can name so many talented DJs. And so, who would I like to interview? I want to interview everybody. I want to interview all of them.
Yeah.
All of them. And I know, and I apologize up front.
It's just
if I
too many to
mention
name,
names.
ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. And sometimes
But-
you people think that we're being disrespectful by missing a few names. The reality is that while you're jolly on the spot here, we can't name everybody. It's not that we didn't think about you. It's that we have so many other things to think about other than them. See, look at the hearts. People understand. Let's talk about some of these events. I got reamed on by Mr. SMB and so many others about talking about this. How do you feel about so many events with so many great DJs being played on the same day?
Wow.
Okay.
That's
All right.
That's a good one.
Now let's look at it like this. All right. Let's start from the beginning. Now, okay. So let's say right now, maybe there's 16 weekends. Let's pretend there's only 16 weekends.
Okay.
All right, which there really are, like 16 weekends. So if you go June, July, August, September, so there's about 16 weekends, give or take, 17. Now, you have 50, 60 people with the idea that they want to make something happen. Now, who's to say it shouldn't be my event and not your event? Now, think about this for a second. And I said this before, and I said it on my show. I said, if I'm putting on an event, that event is necessary. Saturday and Sunday, Magic put on a spectacular event. I mean, the numbers I've heard were up to 40,000 people came through the park those 2 days.
Wow.
I don't know what the actual numbers were, but I'm just saying that's what they announced. The assemblyman announced from the stage. Now, but he didn't start out with 40,000 people. He didn't start out with 40,000 people. I was talking to someone on Saturday. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say it was Raheem, House Music, and he said he remembers because he was there when Magic was helped putting the dance floor together. You understand what I'm saying? And he didn't have these kind of numbers. So who should have said to Magic, his event's not necessary? I think you would have made a mistake.
Yes.
So, you got people who are trying it for the first time, and they might try it and never try it again. They might say, woo, because I gotta tell you something. I mean, and I said it last on the show, they should make a statue to these guys. I mean, to put on an event, I mean, you just have no idea. And like, so again, let's go back to Magic, some of the people that I know, and I've had some real conversation with Magic, Ricky Clark, Sultan. Okay. Those are three that I've had extended conversations with. I've had some conversations with some others, but these three I've had extended conversations with. And you have no idea what it takes. They walk around smiling and like they're calm and everything. But let me tell you something. Think about this for a second. Or Tim Wise, there's another gentleman I had a test for.
Yeah.
To put those 4 events on here, first of all, there's all the rigmarole that you have to go, and I, in terms of just thinking it through. You got to get the venue. That's permits, police, I mean, you name it, all right? Then, on top of that, you got to market the event. Then you got to have the volunteers, you got to put the boards, you got to get the sound, you got to get the artists, all that got to work. You got to get the stage up. Then, on top of that, while you're in the place, then there's constantly something. Your phone, every time your phone, you jump. The phone, or let's say, or if a kid gets lost. Or, I mean, there's all this stuff that's going on. That's not counting any meetings that you have to attend. That's not counting the hours you have to put in. It's soul crushing. And personally, and then the effect that it has on your family, because you can't be there, the effect it has on your body. So Magic announced from the state, when I was talking with him too, he said, listen, I've really been asleep since Thursday.
Wow.
At the end of the study, you got to be to work Monday morning. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Tamir. Listen, he took the week off. When they did that thing in Linden. I'm saying to you, I don't really know that the answer is not to do the events. I just try to be optimistic about it and say, listen, now I have more choices. But you will have to, if you're going to attend all the events, you're going to have to go. You're going to have to, shake hands, kiss babies, and keep it moving.
Yeah.
So this Saturday, I'm going to hit at least 3. All right. But there's 5 that I know of that are going on.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Right.
5.
But but then too, it's like choices. Should everybody drive a Chevy? Should everybody?
Yeah. You're good.
Should so the whole idea. Again, I go back to originally, my event's necessary. All right. And I see what SMB is doing, and they're coming into their 5th year, and they've grown that from nothing. I mean, you gotta remember, these guys are starting these things from scratch. And after all the people say, oh yeah, man, I'm down.
Yeah.
And you're
looking around and like, where's that?
So where's everybody?
Where'd everybody go?
Listen, when I started Soulful House Nation, 10 people said they were down. In the end, it's come down to 2.
Wow.
It's come down to 2.
Wow.
2. But you know, anyway.
Here's a question.
So,
How do you feel about? I get a lot of people who inbox me a lot. Say there's a lot of hate in the community among DJs. How do you feel about that? The hate. I mean, I know personally it exists. I personally spoke to one DJ about it. He was really upset. Do you think that the general hate in a music that's loving exists?
Sure exists, but I would say 2 things. Number one is that's not the most part. I mean, when I see the guys and the DJs come, they're high-fiving each other, they're cheering each other on. You know, you're always gonna have some level of confusion. You have more than one personality, but at the same time, you gotta remember, I'm seeing people on their good side. So when they come to me, we're going to an interview, we're laughing and giggling, we're having fun, which is my style, and we're looking to get in a good light. So I'm not really dealing with all the people who, the back and forth with this one and that one. So I don't really see it like that. But yeah, I do hear some things here and there, but for the most part, I think it's less widespread than some people might want to believe.
Okay, so it's not an epidemic that's spreading through the house community.
I don't think so.
Just
I mean, we all show up to each other's events. How you doing? They come back to stage, give a hug, handshake. Now, again, you go argue that's phony, this and that. I got that, but you know what? I think there's some tension here and there, but I don't think that's the rule as opposed to the exception. That's my view on that.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, we're live with Dan Shiver here on What I Like About with Jay Perez, the season premiere. And again, I couldn't have anybody else here other than Dan Shiver on my first show, beginning season 2. And this is just amazing. I mean, we got so much to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit more. We're going to cut it short. I know Dan's got a lot of things to do. But before I absolutely leave, I'm going to give him the platform. Dan, tell me a little bit some of your ventures that you're going through right now. Some of the things that you're doing.
Okay, so right now we have a couple of things that are happening right now that are exciting. Okay, so let's take the show. Soulful House Nation. We are really, really trying to get it right to go international. And what's happening is I've been in contact with people from France, Italy, England, as far as Pakistan.
Really?
Yeah, and I have people. We watched the monitor on Monday, and at one point, I'm not talking about what we do on Facebook Live. There were 60. We had 60 people from 63 countries watching us. So we're trying to figure out how to make this thing. But the thing is, I mean, there's little things I got to learn, like I don't know how to make the Skype thing work. and okay, so I have Sebastian Creeps, who I want to do from France. Okay. And we've been back and forth in communication. Babu, forget about it.
Babu Francesca, my sister, I love her, man.
And then Pat Badeau.
Yes. Okay,
out of England. And whose DJ Spen has done a lot of work with and things of that nature. And my favorite song that he ever did was The Door of No Return. Go get that track. Anyway, The Door of No Return.
Yeah.
But so we're figuring that out. Now the other challenge I have is that I only do a show once a week, that regular show. I'm 50 deep of people that I didn't get to. Wow. I'm 52 deep that I didn't get to. All right. So now what I've been doing is I've been doing this regular show, but then we do some special editions tonight, for example. And then you have some people who can't do it during the daytime and try to make night arrangements.
Yeah, difficult.
Yeah, and I would rather be in person. That's ideal, unless I could figure out a way. And I know there's a way to do it. I guess where the Skype comes in is to have them at least. You can see them at least. Okay. I notice we get more traction when we do it that way. So to go international is on a thing, certainly national and international. And I also have developed a good friendship with Musa Stretch out of the Atlanta area, who's been super kind, supportive of me and what we're doing. When I say me, I mean the show, what we're doing. And then also there's another young lady who I have not met, who's been super supportive by the name of Liz Hatley. And she's referred a lot of people to us. So I just, these are people who maybe you don't see them up front, but they really are making. Then also
Of course, the behind the scenes, yeah.
Yeah, then I have TR. TR has been, like, she likes to call, you heard the show Empire, right?
Yeah.
She likes to say she's my Becky. In other words,
Okay.
she's like, Dan, no, Dan. No. Or either, look, did you do this? I'm like, so she's like that, and she's been ride or die with me, all right? And I really appreciate that. Okay, some other things too I would like to do is that, so right now, this whole thing is growing. I mean, you know and I know that if you go back 3 summers ago, there was an event here, there was an event there, okay, there was the Bang Out, there was Soul Summit, Lincoln Park, and some other things here and there I can't remember, Weequahic Park, and some others that I can't remember right now. But now forget about it. These things are major. You got Stacey Jackson doing stuff out in PA.
Yeah,
You got,
my girl right there, Stacey Jackson.
Yeah, you got that happening. So I'm saying this thing is growing. So now there's a lot of people who say that our market is dead, we don't spend any money, and this and that. And that you got to bring young people into the thing. Now, I agree you got to bring younger people into it, but that's not the whole picture. Okay, let me say. So what are you going to do with all these 50-plus people in terms of age? Now, I'm not in that age bracket, but anyway. Did I say something funny?
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
It was the music.
Yeah, the music. Okay. But what are you going to do? Are you going to throw them away? What are you going to do with them? No, so this is my thinking here. I'm going to share it. I'm going to put it out here. All right. So, let's say Betty, average age 51 years old, average income per individual $56,000 a year. In the household, you might talk a 6-figure income. All right. So Magic just had the big event. Where were the banks? Most of the people drove there. Car loans galore. Where are they?
Yeah.
Where are they? Okay, I can go into 100 different things, but I'm telling you that for this reason. We have value too. We have a lot of value. Okay, baby boomers and the Generation X, I think is who follow, control most of the money in the country. Control most of the money. So we should be able to have services and things that we want to. We should have people come out and sponsor our events here. Speaking of that, we are looking for sponsors. I would like you to inbox me. Like, let's say, for example, let's go with Billy Bob. Billy Bob is, 50-something years old, whatever his age is, or his age. And Billy Bob works at the car dealer and sells cars, whatever. So Billy Bob should be having a conversation, say, contact Dan, because we need to get you in front of our audience. All right? And they can do sponsorships for pennies on the dollar compared to what they're spending on all these ads that they're running and spending on. Oh, listen. They need to talk to Dan. All right? I got spots for you. Starting in September, I got spots for you. Okay? Think about this a second. Here's a couple things going to happen with Billy Bob. Okay? 51, 10 years, I know he's going to start, she's going to start to run into health issues. So we're the hospital people. We're the insurance people. Where are they?
Yeah, right.
What? Did I miss something? Call me. I'll show you how to connect with them. All right?
Especially if you're a minority-owned business.
Oh, please.
Absolutely, man.
Please.
I support minority-owned businesses. This is the man you should talk to. Marketing, all of that stuff. He has the knowledge of that, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this is somebody you should definitely be talking to.
Yes.
Reach out to him. Inbox him. I'm sorry, Dan.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, you may work in the company and you have a position. Maybe you're a supervisor, because a lot of our people in our community are in management. They're professionals. they're service people. They have their own businesses. You know, reach out to me. We listen. We're your audience. Where was AARP? Now, quiet as kept.
I understand.
Quiet as kept.
Yeah.
Some of you should have gotten letters by now. Of course, not me.
You know, ladies and gentlemen,
Call me.
it's just
Call
been
me.
a fun-filled afternoon with Dan. I mean, I'm gonna give him another 5 minutes to actually address his audience and the Soulful House Nation, like I always do with everyone. And if there's anything you want to say to your people, your crew, anybody.
Well, I just say, I wouldn't say my people. I'd say our people. You know, we're a very, very strong and viable community, and if the people around us only see the dancing and the music, they're missing it because we're complete people, and we got a lot going on. Again, first, I already mentioned the businesses that should be contacting us. All right, but then think about this too. We have issues going on in our community, so. This month we're going to do a thing called Soulful House Nation, our community. So my background, I do 3 things. I own a real estate company. I buy and sell real estate from the company, but also too, I'm an investor. I'm always looking for properties. I just want to put that out there. If you got something you want to sell, if it makes sense, I'm interested. Okay, I'll put that out there. Second thing, I run the entertainment company. We do parties almost every weekend. We do a lot of parties, open thing, everything from weddings, anniversaries, bar mitzvahs, christenings, anniversary. I mean, you name it. Holiday parties, corporate. So we do all kinds. We have small shows, we have large shows, we have light shows, we have all kind of crazy stuff. All right. Okay. But then the other part of it is I do volunteer work, and maybe I'm most proud of that. And here's what I do with the volunteer work. I work with a couple of organizations. Number one is Rotary. So I've been involved with Rotary for many years, and we have a program called the Village Elders Program. And in that program, once a month, we go to students and we bring somebody in that represents a different career. So last month, we brought an electrician. Now here's what's different about our students. Our students, many of them have ankle bracelets, and they would be living in a gated community if they didn't participate in this program. Okay. So every month we bring in, so we brought in fire, police, IT people, judges. We brought in culinary arts. So if you have a skill or something like that, you'd be willing to share with students. I want to hear from you because we have that. And then the last thing is we're going to do a show. I have a gentleman already on board who's a mental health person and also with drug and alcohol addiction. So his name is Marvin Bell, and we're bringing him in. We're going to do a live feed. It's going to be toward the end of July, and we're going to talk about mental illness. Let's keep it real. We all know someone who has an issue with mental illness. Absolutely. And if you say you don't,
I'm one of them.
It might be you.
I'm one.
Okay, all right. Okay, so you know what? It's something that's going on in our community.
Thank you, Wally.
We've talked about addiction. We've talked about, in those meetings, we've talked about domestic violence. I mean, these things are happening in our community. We're about the music, but we got other stuff going on too. So, I want to try to take as much of a holistic approach as I can, and that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Wow, that's deep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want to thank the voice of house, Mr. Dan Shiver, for being on What I Like About with Jay Perez. I'd like to thank Wally Young, the House of Knowledge, for coming down and representing and showing love for Dan. Mm-hmm. I mean, that two of the most prolific people in our community are here today, and I'm just excited about it. To reiterate what I said, I didn't mean my people in a negative. I meant his people as his audience, the audience, not in any other fashion. That's not what Jay Perez rolls like. Jay Perez loves everybody. So I meant his audience. Okay? Dan, thank you very much for being on What I Like.
This one last thought. Last thought.
Absolutely.
One last thought. When I see Soulful Messiah, we have this little thing go back and forth. Giant Stadium or bust. We're gonna get into Giant Stadium.
Whoa,
we're gonna fill the place up.
Wow.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm
that's
good.
gonna be huge. That can be
they wanna
huge.
make-
That can be huge.
Oh yeah.
Top brass in the culture, they need to come together and make that happen, man. You know what? I do see those events like that where you get evangelists filling up stadiums.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
huge, thousands and thousands of people. Do not tell me that Jersey can't fill Giant
got it.
Stadium up.
We got it.
You know what I'm saying?
We got it.
Especially if we can get Eli up in there. Thanks again, Dan.
All right, you're
I
welcome.
mean, I want to
Okay.
thank you, man. It's
Thank you for having me.
you know, what can I say, man? Dan Shiver, the legend, the voice
I
of
know
House.
that.
Thank you. God bless you all, and thank you for tuning in, man.
Man, that
Please
never
share this
sleep.
video. yeah. Look at that. Please share this video, man. You're not doing it for me. You're doing it for Dan. Dan deserves this. Dan deserves to go global. He doesn't deserve to just stay local. He deserves to go global. And if it's not Jay Perez, then who? Have a great day.